Okay, so I am back again with finishing up the comparison between the movie The Vow and the book The Vow. Okay. What I'm gonna get into, to save time and not to do too many spoilers, is that in the movie, and you can see it a little bit in the book, that Leo seems upset by the past that she does remember. And I can't really think off the top of my head references from the book, but in the movie, it's she remembers high school friends, the ex-boyfriend, her street address, someone got a brand new mailbox, all this like weird stuff. So he, because of this, he feels like an outsider looking in. And in the book, he's more in, I wouldn't say involved, but more incorporated with the family. And they treat him like he's blood. Like, they don't, like in the movie, he's not shunned. In the movie, Paige's father suggests a divorce. That was never mentioned in the book. Never, ever, ever, ever in the book. Like, her parents in the book loved Leo. In the movie, they don't really know him. They don't care to know him. They can't stand him. They want Paige to go back to the life she had before she met Leo, which was to become a law student, probably be with Jeremy. They wanted control over her, pretty much. That's what it was in the movie. And also, back to the movie character of Paige, there were moments where she seemed, with the whole memory loss thing, a little fun and a little quirky. And I really didn't like that in the movie because there's nothing fun and quirky about such a traumatic event and not remembering who your husband is. But I guess, I don't know if they're going for romantic comedy or just a romance. I mean, I understand it's just a movie, but it could have been done as a drama. I think it would have been better. Also in the movie, like, when Paige gets discharged from the hospital, and it jumps a lot. Like, it doesn't say months, weeks, or anything. It's just she's in the hospital. She goes to the hospital. Then she's in a coma. Then she's up. Then she goes home. And Chante, Leo, throws her a surprise party for the first day she comes home. She's overwhelmed. And they show the same people in the very beginning of the movie. They don't even say who these people are. So it's kind of like, who are these people? But in the book, they're very descriptive as to who is who, and they put pictures, too, as a reference, so you kind of got a good idea. The book was very good explaining with who the characters were and what roles that they played, and Paige's recovery, and Paige and Leo's relationship mending, and their troubles and their trials and tribulations. Speaking of the trials and tribulations, the movie did not focus on that as much as the book did. And I'll get back to that in a minute. And also in the movie, they spend a lot of time apart. It kind of almost seems like, because they give no time frame or time lapse, say anything. It seems like in the movie, Leo goes back to work and just leaves Paige at home to kind of figure things out on her own. Which, in fact, in the movie, Leo does everything in his power to stay at home and be with Paige and try to help Paige and, everything he can for Paige. In the book, like, Paige is Leo's life. Even in the beginning she was, even though they had, their separate lives and their, lives together. But after the accident, like, in the book, Paige was Leo's world, and he went through hell and back for this woman. And it just was so odd that in the movie, how they just spent so much time apart. It was just, I didn't like that at all about the movie. Not at all. And also, this is going to be a really big spoiler, because when you're talking about the book, and the title of the book and the movie is The Vow, okay? The main premises of this book is that this couple, Paige and Leo, made a vow when they got married, for better or for worse. And plus with the religion and the religious backgrounds and just how they were raised, is that divorce was never an option for them. Never, ever, ever. At one point, I think they thought about it, but they sought to get help, and they wanted to be together. And in the book, Paige had a sense of, okay, I'm married. This is my husband. How do I be a wife? What do I do? What does he like? What did we used to do together? What, you know, she's trying to figure that out. In the movie, she kind of is, but she's just kind of like mumbling around, fumbling around and stuff. Like, she's not trying to figure out how to be a wife. In the movie, she's trying to figure out who Paige is. Which in the book, she does that as well, but she does it through as relearning how to be a wife and relearning who Leo is. And in the movie, they actually get divorced. And it was her parents' idea. They told Leo that, hey, it's been X amount of time, things aren't working out. You got to think what's best for Paige. Let her live a new life. Let her start over. You know, just get a divorce. And they go through with it, and then there's another weird time lapse, and it's so bizarre. Because then at the end of the movie, I don't know, they're going to some coffee shop where they get hot chocolate from, and Paige actually breaks away from her overbearing parents and moves it back to the north side of Chicago and gets her own apartment, gets back into doing her artwork and whatnot. And her and Leo bump into this coffee place where they always used to get hot chocolate together. She didn't remember it, but I think in the movie someone either told her or she found it written on a sheet of paper or something like that. So that's pretty much how the movie ends, is they go on a date and they're like, oh, I'm single, are you single? And it's like, what the hell? Like, it's called the vow, okay? You make this vow for better or for worse, and to, you know, to be together. And in this book, I'm gonna give the, like, all, because that part of the movie with the divorce and everything made me so mad. This couple, and they say at the end of the movie, remain married. What happens in the book, besides Paige's rehabilitation, and they do fight, and there's so much more to the book, and what they wind up doing is because Paige does not remember the first wedding or their first honeymoon. So after they take the advice from the psychiatrist or psychologist and they start dating, they're relearning one another and everything, and they decided to get remarried and go on another honeymoon, so Paige would have those memories and know that for a fact, like in her heart, that yeah, I'm married, I had a wedding, and I went on a honeymoon. And they stayed together in the book, and they are a phenomenal couple. The movie, like I said, I would give it a really high B, the movie. I'm glad I didn't see it in the theater. I did buy it, but because I can relate so closely to all of this, I just think that if I wouldn't have read the book, I would have kind of been questioning a lot of things and been really lost, and I really probably would have gave the movie a C and not have a really even liked it. But since I read the book, since I actually read the book, I had more perspective and idea of what was going on, what was missing, what wasn't there. So yeah, read the book, the one that I showed you, before you see the movie. I mean, the book, it was so amazing, and it was heartbreaking to read, but so uplifting. I read this book in 4 hours. I could not put it down. It's based a lot off of Leo's perspective, so it's not like totally romantic and like a Nicholas Sparks type of thing. There is, of course, romance and love in it because they are a married couple, and the romance and love in it is things that you can identify with it. And in the book, like in the movie, there are fights, and couples can relate to that too. But, one second. One thing I must say about the movie, besides absolutely loving that it was filmed in Chicago, and that at the end of the movie, they play The Cure's Pictures of You, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. But yeah, that's my review on the book and the movie. Please read the book. It is an amazing book. I read a lot of books, and this is one that I absolutely would say I have to be careful how I word things. If I didn't find this book when I did, I wouldn't have been as informative on a lot of things I needed to know and do, and I would have felt lost. And the real life Paige, I corresponded with her via email. She is the sweetest, nicest woman. She is doing phenomenal. I wish her nothing but the best in life. Leo too. I mean, just reading the book, it's almost like, how do I want to word this? Like, it's tragic, and it, like, what happens is horrible, but out of this tragedy and everything that happens, it has such an amazing and beautiful ending that it kind of shows that, you know, anything is possible, you know. And it also, with today's society and culture, a lot of people think with even the stupidest things that divorce is the answer. But if you read this book and then watch the movie, or even if you just read the book, you can see that, you know, hey, just because, you know, your wife maxed out a credit card, or, you know, your husband is a slob, it doesn't mean you have to get divorced. You can work on things. From the smallest thing to the hugest thing of magnitude, things can be worked out, and it'll be okay, and things get better. And so that's my review of the movie and the book. If anyone gets the book and reads it, please let me know. If anyone sees the movie, please let me know what you think of that. So, like I said, I give it a solid B just because I read the book. If I had not read the book, I would have given it a mid C. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial on The Vow. But I was gonna say something, but I lost my thought. I'm tired, I'm sorry. I think that, and I just want to end it with this, I think that if they would have casted different characters besides Chanty and Rachel, although they look very cute together, it would have made things a lot better, because, like I said a couple of times, it gave it that Nicholas Sparks feel to it, and that's what people wanted, and it's not a Nicholas Sparks kind of story. It's not that big of a romance, like, and I explained that, so it could have been done a whole lot better in the movie. More things could have been explained, time lapses could have been explained, but it wasn't. And there's a lot of things added in there that were not even in the book. But what, you know, what movie based off a book doesn't do that? I mean, I've only read very few books that when they make the movie is true to the book. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on The Vow, and I will see you guys next time. If there are any other books that correspond with movies that you want me to do a tutorial on, I will be more than happy to do them. Just let me know. Leave comments, subscribe to my YouTube. On YouTube, I am under Samantha Dancer, and I also post these on Facebook too. So, and you can also share these videos with the links and everything. I have no problem with that. So again, thank you everybody for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will be talking and seeing you guys again.